Well, that noon kickoff didn't happen, but it is 12:33, and here we are. It's Christmas time in Los Angeles. I don't know what time of year it is where you are. Probably a sexier, different time. We're locked down here and not going out a lot because it's crazy outside, and of course, other people can give it to you. But yet, the men of my neighborhood tend to run around with their shirts off and no mask on, like there's some kind of super spreader express, huffing and puffing, pushing their droplets at me. I'm wearing 2 masks now when I sleep. Ben, can you hear me at all?
I hear you perfectly, yes. And I feel like it sounds like there's things super spreading even pre-pandemic with that kind of attitude. Shirtless running is hard to avoid.
You know, men don't even think about it. The idea that maybe women would want to run shirtless, but men can just take their shirts off anytime and it's cool. But if a woman does, it's a freak out and everybody has to get all titillated beyond all measure and say that it's crazy.
Yeah, I've started walking around the neighborhood. Sometimes when I walk my dog, I'll walk shirtless during the day because my only chance to get some vitamin D, which is great for fighting COVID. And so I'm walking around shirtless to the detriment of the eyes of everybody within eye shot.
Right? I would walk around shirtless, but I don't want to get fitted by someone for an impromptu bra who jumps out of a bra wagon or something and sees my gigantic moves. So, because I keep a lot of vodka in there, and it's very precious storage space for me.
If only someone was able to milk you, they would be drinking White Russians till the cows come home.
Right. So what kind of drinks are you going to make on New Year's? So you were worried that if we made something people didn't have on hand already, that they wouldn't be able to make the drinks along with us. So like I said, I'm going to do one that's just simply vodka with lemon and ice. So hopefully people have vodka, lemon, and ice on hand. But I do think there's sexier drinks. Like I have another one. What were you going to do, Ben? Did you have any idea?
I was thinking about doing a dark and stormy or a Moscow Mule or a country mule, which is all the same ingredients, just you mix the alcohol.
Right. I was just going to say, I just the other day bought the dark and stormy stuff. I got ginger beer. I got the good rum. Hang on one second. It's the good kind that is from.
All you need is the bitters too.
I don't know if I have the bitters.
You might have to Amazon you some bitters.
Right?
So we are gonna. So let me explain the context here. On what is that? Let's see. You've frozen on the Instagram. Now you're back. Now you're back.
Hang on one second. I think someone's at my door.
Sure. Maybe it's somebody with better internet, like an internet box being delivered straight to your door. Would be nice. This is slightly backwards today. We're trying our best. I have my family Hanukkah dinner today in 24 minutes, even though Hanukkah ended 2 days ago because we do it whenever we can all do it. And I'm in my parents' backyard, distance from them, exchanging gifts and then getting away like it's a bomb. Somebody deliver that mask to you?
Someone keeps calling me for, I'm waiting for a delivery, and I think a
new router from Spectrum?
Right? No, nothing that good, Ben. We went to Bermuda a couple years ago for the hilarious Bermuda Comedy Festival, which was 5 comedians. And
can you show it to this camera too?
Yeah, that's where I learned dark and stormy. And this is
their Goslings. Oh, yes, Goslings great rum.
And on the back of it, there's an actual recipe for the dark and stormy because it's such a popular drink. When I was in Bermuda, I said they should change the name to the White and Privileged because it's so white in Bermuda.
Unlike how it is in Barbados, right? Have you ever been to Barbados?
I have, and it's brilliant.
Oh, it's amazing. The rum shops, there's this big rum shop culture. It's just, they're not even shops, they call them that, but there's these rum bars basically throughout the country, and people just hang out all day and drink rum drinks. They have amazing sugarcane rum drinks, and
oh my god, you just sit outside. It's like a shack, and they're all painted blue and red and stuff like that. So lovely there. It's such a lovely place. Really I did the weirdest gig there, man. It was called the World Travel Association Awards. It was like this made up thing. So I get a call, and they go, "How'd you like to go to Barbados?" And it's it's WHOSE. It's that the way you've spelled it is who is.
I misspelled it that way in the past too.
right? And
But thank you for the
they go, "You
comment,
wanna-"
Mike, and thank you for your service too. My goodness.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much, Mike. They go, "You want to go to Barbados? It's like 4 or 5 nights. It's totally free, but there's no money, but there's a gig, right?" And
Of
so
course.
I'm like, "Will you bring Jennifer?" They go, "Yeah." So she flew from here, and you had to fly to Jamaica. They're supposed to come in a few minutes. I just got a text.
Okay.
And I flew from
I
Washington,
always
D.C.
text
because I
people
was
before I
visiting the
come. What's
troops at
that?
that point.
Yes.
Right? Which is another 10, 9, oops. And so we flew down there, and it was Cheryl Hines, Richard Belzer, this actress from a sitcom, Too Close for Comfort. I can't remember her name. And then there was a soap opera actress there. She was there too. And we were all the present awards, and I was supposed to host it or whatever. But no one liked my comedy because I was doing politics. And so they ended up like just bumping me off. I brought out a few people. The band knew 2 songs, Brazil and Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. So everyone from the hotel we were staying at, we were all sitting together. And Jennifer and this crazy English guy who was there were getting a bottle of rum for each of us at each table, right? Just bottles of rum.
Yum.
And Barbados has that brilliant rum.
A bottle of yum. Oh, they do. They
yeah.
have Mount Gay rum is their big one.
Not gay. And
which
so
is that name's not even being subtle about it.
Oh no, Mount Gay is a short open invitation, is what that is. It's a poem.
Yes, it is.
So there's these 2 women at our table who own a spa in Brazil, and they're up for one of the awards. But it's not a spa; it's like definitely a place you get, facial reconstruction. You get plastic surgery, and then you recover at this spa. And
Right.
the mother speaks no English at all. The daughter's there as well. At one point, the mother says, "I've lost my camera." This is early 2000s, so it was a proper camera, like a Nikon. And a search is mounted. We literally turn our area over. Everyone's looking under the table. Everyone's looking under the tablecloth. We're all drunk. Finally, the mother goes, "Oh, never mind. I've been sitting on it," and pulls it out from under her. And the English guy goes, "Has she no feelings below the waist?" Like,
wow.
A metal rectangle she's been sitting on for 20 minutes. So they win, and they're from Brazil, and they go, "The winner of best spa, blah, 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 is the such and such spa in Brazil." And the band plays "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina."
They flipped it. They flipped it.
Like, you only know 2 songs.
You would think Brazil would have been the moment.
Right? I was hosting, and I'm like, "You guys, you could have played Brazil." Because they're from Brazil.
So funny. This is like at my bar mitzvah when I told the DJ to play Memories from Cats when my old cat-loving aunt came up for her candle lighting ceremony. Instead, he plays, "Come on, everybody, let's twist again." She was 90, like we did last summer. It was unbelievable. She broke a hip just thinking about it.
Right.
And you and I both have hosted very strange events in Barbados. I hosted a dance contest sponsored by a perfume cologne company called Chrome. I co-hosted it with Dougie Fresh, the original human beatbox.
Yeah. 5 minutes.
It was
Dougie
wild.
Fresh.
Teach me how to Dougie. He taught me how to Dougie back before it was a thing.
Right?
To teach, at least.
Dougie Fresh, that's fantastic.
It was really cool. It was so random.
Isn't it? These gigs in Barbados are like, what? Who's going to have a gig? I thought that the British people who lived there were nefarious, right? So we're staying at this place, and it was beautiful lodge. It was like Noel Coward's plantation house from the 50s or something. And so, Victorian with a deck and a thing. Beautiful rooms, like a planter's place. And this guy's skulking around the place, this Italian named Paolo. And one of the English people says, "Oh, Paolo's an architect." And I'm like, "Why does he live here?" And he's like, this and that and this. And they go, "He designed the archway in Baghdad that was Saddam Hussein's, that thing that looked like that had the 2 ivory things that went up that got, before we attack them." So we're having lunch one day at the communal table. And I said, "Paolo, tell me about Saddam Hussein." And this fucking guy, I swear to God, Benjamin, goes, "Saddam Hussein, he's crazy." And I said,
What an
that's
insight.
a pretty fair assessment.
Yes.
He's crazy.
That reminds me of a classic Ralphie May move. If you ever heard this story, Ralphie May went to entertain the troops in Iraq after we liberated the Iraqi people.
Yeah.
And we'd already taken over Saddam's palace.
Now you have to finish the story while I get my thing. Sorry.
Sure. So we had already liberated and taken control of Saddam's palace in Baghdad, and he was there with Jeff Ross and a few others. And Ralphie May, as you should, I believe this is a fair move, urinated in Saddam's pool.
And have you reorder or call Postmates for a refund? Okay, thank you so much.
Cheers.
There's some ordering drama going on there.
Yeah, right. There's ordering drama.
Ordering drama going on there. But the point of the story was Ralphie May peed in Saddam's pool. What did you get?
That's awesome.
What is that? Nate and Owls, yes.
Nate and Owls.
I'm so glad they're back. They really got some great free publicity by pretending they were closing for about a month and then came right back.
They closed, and that titan of industry, Irving Azoff, who's the meanest music manager in the whole world, basically bailed them out, I think. And awesomely, if you want to be a patron of them, they turned all their wait staff into drivers, and so that they kept it family.
That's cool. Also, Irving Azoff helped me make the Telethon for America 2018 happen.
Good for him, man.
He advised me a little bit because Chelsea kind of made him. He's cool. He's got he's got his.
He knows everything. He loves everything.
He does. And he told me right after the 2018 telethon, he said, "Great job, Benny. Start right now on the 2020 telethon." And I ignored that advice, ran for president, spent a year doing other stuff, and then got the telethon going 2020, 7 days before the telethon instead. So there's another way to go about it.
Wisdom from Irving Azoff.
Yes, let's tell people quickly. What's that?
I think Glenn Fry said he's what was it? He's a monster, or he's an a-hole or something, but he's ours.
Much like
because
everybody's actual a-hole.
The Eagles have sold more records and done more successful tours than any bloody group. And Steely Dan, he had Steely Dan. I mean, there's nobody in the music business that he hasn't. That's nice.
And the Eagles album title, one of the great titles ever, when they came back after swearing that they would only come back if Hell Freezes Over. Their album title, Hell Freezes Over.
Hell Freezes Over, yeah.
So good.
He got him to do it, man.
So cool.
Like they say, when they offer you a king's ransom, there's so much you'll find inside your soul that'll make you dance.
Yep. Yep. And exactly, speaking of that, this New Year's Eve, Greg and I are doing a show together. We do a monthly improv games show and crowd interaction show called Greg and Gleib, It's a G Thing. Well, this New Year's Eve, we're doing Greg and Gleib, It's a New Year's Eve Thing at Nowhere Comedy. Greg and I will be playing drinking games with you. We will tell you key words that you could drink every time we say it in our improvs. We'll have surprises we're working on right now. It'll be a blast. And then at midnight East Coast time, the show starts 10:30 p.m. Midnight, scrolling across the bottom there at East Coast time, 10:30. The show starts at midnight East Coast, right where Greg is pointing, on my streams and on his Instagram. The finger's not even in frame, but it's fine. If those of you on Instagram watching, go to tinyurl.com/live DEC31, live December 31, tinyurl.com/live December 31 for a discount to join us. At midnight, we will have a champagne toast with all of you. We will ring in the new year. If you're on the West Coast, it's great to join us too, because the show will be done by 9 p.m. You'll still have 3 hours till midnight, so you can still have a late dinner and celebrate and ring in midnight privately, but we'll do it with you on the East Coast, people, so it's good for both. And then we are doing a cocktail hour VIP right afterwards, not only a meet and greet answering your questions, but Greg and I will teach you how to make our favorite cocktails during this. Tickets are already flying, Greg.
I know, it's great.
Flying. I just checked in again, and they're flying. So this show will be jam-packed. Recommend you get your tickets now. You can get date, couples ticket, group ticket, whatever you need. And this link gets you a small discount off the ticket price. So try to do that right now if you can. tinyurl.com/live DEC31. These shows are a absolute blast. Been the highlight of my quarantine, getting to do these shows with you, Gregory.
Yeah, me too, buddy. Are we going to have a special guest up front? I think we are, right? Have a couple.
We'll definitely have a special guest up front, and we already have a host book. Jen Saunderson's going to host, and she is
Jen Saunderson, awesome.
And she's pregnant, so we're going to just peer pressure her to drink anyway.
I was going to say,
make sure she drinks.
I used to have a joke where it said Elizabeth Hurley said, when Elizabeth Hurley was famous, the horrible thing about being pregnant is you have to quit smoking for 3 months.
She also is pregnant again. I'm not pregnant again. She's famous again because she's become this Instagram sensation, posting bikini pictures, and she's in her 50s and looks unreal.
Right. She never eats. She said she goes to bed hungry every single night. That's her thing. She was also pro-Brexit. So, there's that element of Elizabeth Hurley. Here's my other Elizabeth Hurley joke from the 90s. She said that she saw one of Marilyn Monroe's gowns, and that she said if she was that fat, she'd kill herself, which I thought showed a marked lack of taste and restraint because Marilyn was that fat and did kill herself.
Oh, well, then I will share one of my tasteless jokes from the early 2000s, in my beginning of my stand-up career. I said, it's great to go out with a pregnant girl because, or it's great to have sex with a pregnant woman because A, you don't have to get her drunk first. In fact, it's frowned upon. B, she lets you do it from the side, which is very unique. And lastly, technically you wouldn't be lying if you said you just had a threesome. So.
Wow, that is tasteless. I love that one. That's a lot to unpack. Yeah,
there is indeed.
It's time to bring all that back, I think, during the containment because we're at the privacy of our own homes.
That's right. That's right. Hopefully no one's getting pregnant in this household, though.
When I think of some of the tasteless jokes I've told over the years, I'm just shocked that they're still on albums and that people still like me.
I know. This is the benefit of being very lazy in your career like I am. I still haven't even released really officially albums. You can buy them on my stuff and I give them away at my shows. I don't have an album out there. I have my special, which is now also its audio tracks on Spotify, but I don't have Margaret Cho produced an album for me like 6 years ago in Atlanta. I never released it because Barry Katz, my manager, said it sounds like it's in front of 40 people on a Tuesday.
That's
I was like, it was, Barry. That's what it was. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, it was 40 people in front of it.
Yeah. And I never released it like a dumb. I love it still. And so I probably still will, but I don't know how to get things up places. I'm sometimes I have some tech skills and some tech dead zones.
Right. I don't know how to post stuff. Like, I'm going to start a Patreon in January. And I was talking to my, you know how you have a Patreon manager or whatever they are, the person who kind of shepherds you along. And
I don't have one of those.
I had a few phone calls with her because she was trying to convince me to do it. And then I'm like, how do you post stuff? And she's like, that'll become evident later. And I'm like, I'm going to have an army of friends come in.
Yes.
I made an album last August at the Punchline in San Francisco because remember they were going to close it. And then they didn't close it because all these guys got together.
It's a great club. So
I love that club. And that's where I would be on New Year's, Ben. I've been there on New Year's for the last million years. And
wow.
I don't know about you, but I've missed 1 year's performing since 1987. So I've got along, and almost every single one was in San Francisco.
Really? Wow. Yeah. How many years?
87. I did the Holy City Zoo with Henriette Mentel and Jeremy Kramer. And then after that, I did 3 or 4 years at Fort Mason with Will Durst and Debbie Durst for the big New Year's show that they do. And then I got my own gig and I did the Walnut Creek Punchline. I middled for like Henry Cho 1 year and someone else for New Year's. And then finally, when I got to headline, I headlined Cobb's Comedy Club for about 10 years. And then the Punchline for like the last million years. The shows at Cobb's were wild.
Cobb's recently.
They would always bring Patton in to be like a special feature. So he wasn't like opening for me, but he was kind of another headliner they'd bring in and he'd do the show too. And we'd all get drunk as the devil.
Of course, you're referring to General Patton.
Right. I'm referring to George S. Patton, General of the Third Army, who rolled his tanks over Rommel's troops. And so I go to the Punchline and Jennifer goes, well, why don't you, do new material? And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was going to do this whole reminiscence on stage about how the club's closing and all the time I've spent there because I played there for now we're on to almost 30 years or 40 years. I think I did my first set there when I was like 22 or something, and they closed the club. So I had to improvise an album. So I improvised 2 nights, 4 shows worth of stuff. The air conditioning failed. It was August. the place had the doors open during the show. It was sweltering in the, like the worst atmosphere for comedy ever. And just fantastic. So that album is sitting in the can because I can't be bothered to edit it. So that might
I
be
have
something
so
I put
much
up.
in the can. Yeah,
Right.
so I recommend the Patreon. I launched mine just really strong. Started focusing on it like 2 months ago. Patrons are joining constantly. If you want to see, Greg, a case study of how to do it right, go to patreon.com/Ben Gleib and check that out.
I did. You've been my model for this, and I've done my cheers the way you did yours, including adding our shows that we do together as a bonus that you get to watch for free. Blah blah blah. Yeah, not for free. It's the $20 tier or whatever the bloody hell.
Exactly right. And then the VIPs too, you get access to them. So it's a really nice way to stay in touch. I also am offering some free tickets to some of the shows if you're a certain tier. And it's a really great way to do it. Stay in touch, get some personal private video chats with me. I'm sure Greg will be offering similar things. So check that out. And also I just wanted to quickly, if I may, Greg, tell people that we had an amazingly fun Gleib Off the Top last night. So much fun. Leah Lamar filled in last moment for Mary Lynn Rice Cub because she hit her head and
she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She's not anything major. She just bumped her head on her roof trying to put up lights and wasn't feeling so well before the show, so she had to bounce out. She's fine, but
that's good.
I will check it out.
I love Leah.
I love Leah. I love Mary Lynn too. But we're doing my next Gleib Off the Top this coming Saturday. We're doing it pretty much every single Saturday coming up, except when I do it with Greg once a month. We do going to be the same time Saturdays at 5. It's a G thing, but next Saturday, the 26th, you can get a discount ticket at tinyurl.com/live DEC26, live December 26th for that. And then, of course, and also, Greg, I have to bounce in a moment because it took us a minute to get it going, and my family's Hanukkah is in 5.5 minutes. At my parents' house. Hanukkah's done for 2 days, but my family does it whenever we can all gather.
Right.
And so I couldn't do it last night, so we're doing it today, and it's in 4 minutes, and I already pushed it back an hour. So they will be disowning me as a family member, and I will be cold in the backyard as we distance in the backyard.
It's not going to happen. I will not let them disown you. Let's say goodbye, and we'll see everybody on December 31st at 7:30. If you can't find any of the URLs or things, gregproops.com. I've got the Gleib and New Year's thing right up front. So just go there and all will be revealed.
Yes,
you have a great Hanukkah, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. Also, you can just go to nowherecomedyclub.com if that's easier too, and to buy them directly there. Or this URL on screen, you get a discount ticket, tinyurl.com/live DEC31. You get a slight discount to make it a little bit easier. It's going to be so much fun, Greg. I cannot wait to ring in the new year with you, and it's going to be really exciting. And our goal will be to not get too sloshed before the VIP begins, so we're able to actually teach cocktails that aren't just like, just fucking drink it.
Right. That was my vow to the fans who do buy a ticket. I vow to you that I will stay unsloshed until the cocktail part. Then I will get sloshed with you. All right,
fantastic. Love it.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.